After push to make male-oriented franchises more female, Disney now trying to reach young men. Kind of like the Democratic Party, right? You chastise men, you make them out to be goofs and klutzes and stuff like that, and they start losing money. Men stop watching it, and now all of a sudden they're like, you know what? We need to bring young men back into the fold. This is all on them, though. This is what feminism gets you. It gets you now. Men are not really participating in the dress up stuff where they make lots of money and going to conventions and stuff like that because they feminized everything. And now they're trying to gain men back. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Not to Be, and they report that they said, this amazes me. So we're going to be showing, look, Disney boy trouble. Studio, this is from Variety. Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men amid Marvel Lucasfilm struggles. Who would have thought this would happen? Everyone that was paying attention knew this was going to happen. I mean, Disney has been struggling for years because they've been pushing this feminist LGBTQ agenda, and it turns people off. It turns normal, average people off. I haven't watched a Marvel film in years, and I used to be a really huge Marvel fan, really huge. And I can't tell you the last. I think the last Marvel film I actually watched from beginning to end was probably what's the one when the end of when they all came together, they all band together and finally killed off the dude. I can't even think of the name of it. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. Like I can't do Marvel anymore. They totally turned me off. But they already had two massive franchises that were geared towards men. For 50 years, young men bought hundreds of billions of dollars worth of costumes, toys, books, games, and other merch associated with Star Wars and Marvel. Disney acquired these franchises at great cost, then promptly turned them into an object lesson in intersectional feminism. Variety says the cause came as the Star Wars machine struggles to produce any film project, and the superhero genre shreds audience by the minute. I wonder why the core audience feels like they aren't the target market anymore, right? And then they got a picture of all of this. Like, nothing against female, movies and stuff like that. And, there definitely is a place for it. But when you are inundated with, especially within comic books, when the comic books used to be tailored towards men, it puts people off, man. It honestly puts people off. You got Captain Marvel, who's basically indefensible. What's the word? I can't even think of the word. That's how long of a day it's been for me, y'all. She's basically invincible. That's the word. She's basically invincible and stuff like that. Like it's crazy, the characters that they've been putting forth, man. But while two insiders say the mandate to recruit young males goes as high as the C-suite, the task primarily has fallen on David Greenbaum, the former Searchlight Pictures co-head brought on in 2024 to run Disney's live-action film business. That label has been sorely lacking in guy-leaning fare, like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise for nearly 10 years. The company quickly parted ways with Pirates star Johnny Depp when Amber Heard, with her crazy self, accused him of abuse. Depp was found not guilty and countersued for defamation. To say nothing of the lackluster attempt to reboot and hand off Indiana Jones in 2023, which earned $383 million worldwide on a $300 million budget before marketing costs. I didn't even watch the last Indiana Jones, and I was a big Indiana Jones fan my entire life. And this is what happened. Woke is where movies go to die. But Disney's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny changed Harrison Ford's beloved action hero and made him a failed, sad old man whose only purpose was to hand the reins over to a young, strong female character. See, this is why I never even watched it. I refuse. In fact, that's been a bit of a theme at Disney. How to destroy Star Wars starter pack. Right? They destroyed Star Wars, man. Yes, the CEO of Lucasfilm famously wore a shirt that says, quote, "The Force is female," in case the purpose of retconning franchises to appeal to diverse females of color wasn't obvious. But like, these aren't the people that really go out and watch these films or are really into it like that. So why would you want to tailor it to a minority when you can tailor it to the majority and make more money just to push an agenda? It's ridiculous. But when the execution is correct, Disney's sweet spot at the movies has been millennials. You mean the last generation that watched their stuff before they went woke? Right? A few comments. The Critical Drinker said, Disney spends a decade methodically, sorry, y'all, I can't talk today, methodically emasculating and destroying every male hero in every franchise they own. Also, hey, why don't men like us anymore? Also, Disney, why men don't like us anymore? I mean, of course, like I said, it's obvious. It's obvious. Who wants to sit and watch a movie where you're being bashed and feminized and stuff like that? What man would want to see something like that? What real man, I should say, would want to see something like that? Jim Garrity said, it is kind of amazing that the company that owns the rights to Star Wars and Marvel Comics is lamenting how do we attract young male moviegoers. Stephen L. Miller said, it's probably not a coincidence that Disney has the same exact problems as the Democratic Party. Live by DEI philosophy and die by it. Absolutely true. That's the exact same problem that Democrats are having. They're trying to figure out how to win over men. When you chastise men, you call them toxic, you're not going to win any votes with that. John Echdel said, Disney bought 2 IPs that were male skewing specifically because their IP library was more female oriented. Then they proceeded to try to turn them into girl brands. I will never understand it. That's true. That's true. The whole reason why Disney bought those franchises is so they can bring more men into Disney, but then they made it female. Like, it defeats the purpose of them buying it anyway, right? Good luck, Disney. I could care less. I could care less if Disney failed, because they failed men years ago. We've been turned it off. We've been stopped watching it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave our comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.